what the hell is going on in here. I just need to know that. I need to know what the hell's going on this morning. Apparently, we're going to be doing some magnificent mythology today. Yay! So, hey, everybody in chat, thank you so much for joining us today. Absolutely, I see Eli, you have already entered the raffle. Please, everybody hit that exclamation point raffle. You will be winning. Somebody will be winning a fabulous set of Phoenix Dice today. Yay! We love Phoenix Dice. They're one of our sponsors. And you know why we love them? Because they make everything from recycled materials. They love the world we live in just as much as the worlds we play in. Yay for them! So huzzah for that. Thank you, friends, for joining us today. This is our second mythology stream. First off, I would like to say a big thank you to the man behind the scenes. His name is Lando, and we love him. He's the one that set up this gorgeous overlay today. This is my first time seeing it, and I am very excited about it. So yay. And why don't we say hi to our fabulous guest today? Hey, who the hell are you?
Oh shit. Hi, I'm Matt. You might know me as Dungeon Glitch. Yeah, that's basically it. I'm the owner of Gem Firefly. I make goofy t-shirts. I have never made any commercial D&D content, so this is going to be my first. So this is very exciting for me because it's always been something I've wanted to do. Yeah.
So excited! Oh my god, this is gonna be awesome! Thank you for the L's in chat, Orlando. That is glorious.
I'm gonna do it every time. So
right. Yes,
every time I see Lando, because Lando's the best, so I got to put it out there. Now it's a running gag, so it's like
he is. So, and hey, just a little shout out for Lando. If you love what you're seeing in this overlay and you want to hire Lando to actually make an overlay for you, he is absolutely available for commission work for overlays. So get in contact with him for that. And I just threw up our fabulous little gemmed Firefly link in the chat because they are the official merch store for Fig Merch. Yay! Love that. So get you a fabulous t-shirt. There's mugs now. It's super exciting. As new fabulous artwork comes in for these various projects, we are going to be creating all kinds of delightful original artwork stuff too, and sending it over to Gem Firefly to put on a shelf. So very excited about that. I'm very excited. And let's tell you a little bit first about what we're going to be doing today so that expectations are set and everybody can just grab a fabulous mug of cocoa or tea. I am personally going to have a little tea right this very moment. First caffeine of the day. So watch out as my fucking head explodes. Today, we're going to spend about maybe 45 minutes or so discussing a myth that is familiar and close to the heart of our fabulous guest, Matt, here. And then we're going to spend a couple of hours actually on screen writing a full one-shot adventure for this. So I am very excited to see what we are going to be talking about today. I have no idea which is my preference, because then it's just 100% creative energy on the spot, and we are going to do something glorious. That's right, Titan. It is a cast iron teapot. It's fabulous. I love it. There's now. Who wants to hear a fucking story? I sure do. Hey, Matt, tell me a story.
Okay. So first, actually, if you see in the overlay, I want to give Lando some credit because, like, one, it's gorgeous, and he went with my colors, and you can see in the background the Balinese god Borung. He's basically he's Bahamut for all.
Okay, first of all, I'm gonna have to stop you there. Bahamut is absolutely my favorite god in D&D. So tell me, I need this in my life.
So I'm not going to be talking about Baran, but his
monster.
Yeah, I am, and which is great. I absolutely am, and that's where we're going with this. But so if you were to go to Bali, you're going to see Barong everywhere. He's if you did a lion dragon version of Bahamut, he's the god of all good things, all cool spirits, wealth, prosperity, protection. He's everywhere. Totally cool to revere Barong. Give him offerings. Don't ever touch his statues. Doesn't like that, but he's everywhere.
So is there a thing about touching his statues? Is that just a respect thing, or is it like, is there some lore there?
So I'm critical about a lot of this stuff because I like to think that there's the revere lore aspect, but also the constructive logical thing. One, tourists, stop touching these statues. They're not for you to touch.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's like a respect thing. So they kind of tell people, visitors, like, these are sacred statues. They lose their power if you touch them. So don't touch them, is what they say. But there's tons of them and they're everywhere. And they're gorgeous. Like the detail that you see in this overlay in this picture, that's the amount of detail you'll see carved out of a single stone that makes this massive statue. And you'll see it in reliefs and frescoes all over the place. Temples, gates, everything. So it's really, really cool.
Oh my God. Oh, thank you so much, Amber.
Amber.
That's amazing for the community subs. Hey, all y'all. Make sure that you thank Amber for that. Yeah. We'll have to think of some fabulous little gift for Amber. There it is for that. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll buy her a costume.
I'll send her a mug.
Ooh. Did you hear that? Make it happen. All right, so we've got a fabulous lion dragon Bahamut, who is, and the name is again?
Borong. I'll put it in chat.
Oh, perfect. Yes. All right. I love it.
So if you ever look up the Indonesian Balinese legends and myths, the first thing you're going to see is this lion costume, which two people wear, and they do a dance. And the person that they are opposite of in these dances is who I'm going to be talking about today.
Oh. So, well, nice setup. So
I'm just super grateful for Lando to making this. This is beautiful. So I'm a big fan. Plus, it's got my favorite colors. So. All right. So I should probably mention that I'm like super dyslexic. So if I go off topic or if I kind of stall, it's because like 7 ideas are trying to come out of my face at the same time.
Absolutely.
And I gotta run traffic control. So it's like
totally fine. I am absolutely here to tap dance for you while that is happening. Hey, everybody, look at me. So who is this person standing across from Barong?
Her name is Rhonda.
Rhonda.
Actually, ironically, that's my mother's name. It's Rhonda. My mother's name is Rhonda, but the person we're talking about today is Rhonda. Putting in the chat. There we go.
Rhonda. Okay, fabulous.
So just to, I guess, basic preface where I'm coming from on a lot of this, because I want to twist it a bit. I suppose I should do a disclaimer. I am not an authority figure on this stuff. I just happen to be Indonesian. I'm not professionally a historian. I admired this stuff from afar and learned it that way. But because I feel it's my duty as a mixed race person to, having been an outsider looking into this culture, that I should be critical of it and that's kind of my job. As I love these things, I absolutely love it. I think this
I think
view
that
kind
that
of needs to be
is.
said.
I think that it's actually really important distinction and discussion that needs to have, I think, more in situations where you can absolutely be critical of something that you love, someone that you love, and it deepens the relationship. You know, when that happens, if you are asking questions of the things that you love and you get satisfactory responses, that only deepens the relationship. And when it comes to something like mythology, really the relationship that you are having is with that aspect of yourself that this mythology represents. So it can only be deepened, you know, and it can only be made more powerful. So absolutely, I'm here for this.
Yes. So just for effect, if I do accidentally offend anyone, it's not my intention. My opinions are my own. And what we're writing today, this quest and stuff, is a work of fiction.
Yes. And if he does offend anybody, I will take him out back and beat him with a bat. So just everything's fine.
Yeah, I've done all my due diligence because I've been researching this both in English and in Indonesian translation for years. So because I've been super fascinated with it, and it's something that I'm close to, and I'll show you why. So I'll just go through like my relationship with it and how it came up. So if you're okay with a little bit of personal story.
No, we hate it. We hate getting to know people here. I don't look at you as a person at all. No, of course. Yes, let's do it.
All right. So it's weird anytime I talk about this because like you probably think this is going to be like super hokey, or that I'm just saying it as like to be entertaining, or you might think that some of this is blasphemous or ignorant, or you probably might think it's a little too wild for even me to honestly believe, but it's how I feel about stuff. So when I was growing up, my father didn't like that he was Asian, so he made it very difficult for me to latch on to the cultures. He even hid our specific lineage from me through most of my life. I had to find out from extended relatives who hunted him down and found us and told me where I was from, because he wasn't really excited to tell me that. He's like, oh yeah, we're Indonesian. So that's awesome. He was against it, and I understand because he endured a lot of racism growing up, and he wanted to protect me from it, and he wanted us to be as white as possible all the time. And my brother and I didn't feel that because we still got all the racism. But it's like, so as I grew up, I came to study it and embrace it, and I reached out to some of my relatives afar, and they are the loveliest people, and it's so cool. So that was how it came to be. My earliest memory in existence is tied to this story. When I was a child, super, super young, I had a nightmare of ghosts and distorted faces of people I'd never seen before. And this is my earliest memory in existence in my head. And then in my house, we had at the time in effigy the sign, or the mask of Rhonda. My dad didn't know what it was. He just thought it was cool. I have it. I'm going to show you. This is Rhonda.
Oh, I love it. See, now I've seen this. I did not know what it was named. That is so cool. Does it always have all of the cool like things hanging off of it? Do they represent specific things?
Those are offerings we've given over the years.
Oh, I love it.
So as I was having this nightmare, which I still believe I was fully awake for, the mask came off the wall and chased them away. Since then, well, as a kid, those nightmares stopped. And my nightmares going forward were always minimized because I had this protector looking out for me, and I always felt that way, and it's been kind of neat, which is odd because I actually enjoy nightmares. They let me think about stuff, so that's fun. But so my father named the mask Henry because he didn't know what it was. He just thought it was cool. It's like, hey, here's a bit of heritage, but he wouldn't explain what it was, and I didn't know what to go on. I can't just Google Henry mask. That's not a thing. So so when I found out that it's like, oh, I'm part Indonesian, I go, okay, Indonesian masks? And it all came at me. It's like, oh, yes, this is the mask of the evil witch. I'm like, what? That's not my experience with this. So growing up with it, we would give it like basic fun offerings. So you would see the feather, the feather pinions and stuff like that we have here. Those were things that my father won at a fair when I was a kid. So these are super old. And he's like, well, all right, we'll put them on Henry, and then it'll make him happy. I'm like, all right, cool, great. And then I moved out because I moved out when I was super young. I was, this is another bit of the hokey bit. So when I'm out, I had awful sleep paralysis just everywhere I went. And yes, you can say, oh, it's due to bad health, due to poor diet, lack of exercise, all that stuff. I had all that stuff. I was eating well, I was working out, all that stuff, but I still had this. And you look it up, it's like, oh yeah, it's incubus demons. You had a demon on your chest. That's what sleep paralysis is.
Okay, so I have a question there.
Oh, please.
I have a question there. So in different mythologies that I've studied across the world, incubi are very different. In European mythology, incubi tend towards sex demons. They're sort of the male analog of a succubus.
Succubus. Right.
So what in Indonesian mythology, what is an incubus?
There isn't one. I mean, there's spirits that can be something like that, but there isn't really a specific thing. So if you wanted to clash the cultures, then I'm victim to the same things everyone else is. Yeah. So I'm not like specifically, it's whatever, So years later, I get this apartment, and my parents move. And when they do, I find Henry in a box.
Oh my God.
And it's like, I'm taking this. Yeah. You don't have a say in it. And first of all, I want to preface that my wife is a scientist, first and foremost. She's a psychopharmacologist research specialist in Boston. Very professional, expert, whole life, scientific fact for everything. And I told her all these stories, and she's like, yeah, entertaining. It's like, cool. So I have this, she's in like a copy paper box. So I pull her out, and the second I open the box and take the mask even halfway out, I swear to God, all the light bulbs in the room broke. My wife's like, okay, that's creepy. What was that? She's a scientist. It's like, that's not a real thing. That's just a weird coincidence. I put it back because I'm going to hang this. I just don't have a command hook to do it. So we fixed the light bulbs. And the next day, I set up the hook. And we both get home from work. And I open the box again. All the bulbs broke again. Now she's believing it. Yeah. And she's like, okay, this is extremely creepy. What is this? She's like, I'm a little bit afraid. I'm like, no, this is our protector. She's looked out for me my whole life. She keeps evil spirits away. Oh. Didn't you say she is evil? I'm like, maybe. But she means well, and that's how this works. So I hang her up. The rule is she has to face the door, and as doing so, nothing enters. So yeah. I have her set up above the door, the hallway that goes downstairs to our front door. Nice. Earlier this season, my landlord had done vinyl siding, total upgrade. to the house. And when he did it, he also changed out the light fixture on the inside of the door and the outside of the door. And when we had it before, the one on the inside didn't work, so he fixed it. Great. He put a new bulb in. That night, that bulb broke. We haven't touched it since. It's still out, and it's the only bulb that's in her line of sight.
Yeah, Rhonda's just like, no, none of this. None of this.
Get lights, lamps. I don't want anything to do with it. So I'm almost afraid to show her my camera and my computer, but she seems to be pretty cool. So, again, my wife, total scientist. She's like, these are the rules. I get it.
Absolutely. There is I would like to say, Rhonda, we honor you. Thank you for protecting Matt. Thank you for being there for him his whole life. That's amazing.
And since hanging her up, I haven't had sleep paralysis.
There you go. There you go. I just sort of, because that's something that I think a lot of people don't touch on a whole lot in a thoughtful way. Like, I know a lot of people that talk about just it's energy and it's just, but when asked specific questions, there's literally nothing. Like, there's nothing to back it up, right? I 100% believe that there are things that we do not yet understand in this world. You know, that there are all sorts of things that happen that we do not yet have the senses to perceive, just like we can't perceive ultraviolet light or X-rays or things like that. There are waves of energy, there are forms of being that we just cannot yet perceive. And they must have, let's not anthropomorphize it, most likely there are things going on and there are laws and rules for the energies that we are not perceiving. The same way there are laws or rules for ultraviolet light and X-rays, you know.
Sure.
I know for me, it really solidified when it was actually my father's funeral. We put him in a columbarium in the mountain town of Uray, which is where he was a priest for a long time. He was also a priest at St. Stephen's in Washington, D.C. and down in Sedona. And so we ended up having 4 funerals for him overall so that everybody could actually say goodbye, but to all his congregations. But he was actually buried in Uray, which is where we lived for most of our lives. And it was a beautiful ceremony. We all came outside. This was in April in Colorado. Stepped outside with the urn in our hands, and it was perfect sunshine, not a cloud in the sky. And as soon as we opened up the columbarium, it just started snowing. Out of nowhere, full sunlight still, no clouds, just snowing. And as soon as we placed him inside and then covered it back up, the snow stopped. And it was just everybody that was there knows that this was something special. I don't want to put anything on it because I don't know what it was.
Yep.
You know, but I know that there has been magic in my life as long as I've existed, and that my father was a part of that. So I'm 100% here with you for both the science and the magic. I don't think that they are mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
So if this turns into a magical steampunk adventure, I'm here for it. And Lando, I'm wondering, have we made all the changes necessary to all that good stuff? Let me know. Perfect. Then I would like to let people know that you can, in fact, this is all of our Magnificent Mythology streams are in fact also fundraisers for the Foundation for Inclusivity in Gaming. And you can affect things in our adventures. You can help things out by donating. For a donation of $25, you will receive a copy of the final product. As soon as it is available, we will send that to you. For a donation of $50, you will be able to name a person, place, or thing in the adventure, and you will also receive a fabulous version of the finalized adventure as well. And for $100, Matt has said you will get to name the final villain in this. And you will get a t-shirt from Fig and the fabulous copy of the delightful adventure that we're creating. So go ahead, throw some cash there. Let's support some fabulous non-white creators. And let's get back to fabulous storytelling. Hey! Okay, so there's magic and there's science, and they're both real, and we're here for it. So,
yes. My whole life, I've been so anti just religion and spiritualism and all that stuff. I actually used to piss off all my high school teachers because I wrote papers about it because I was raging against. I need logic, I need sense of any of this stuff, and they just found me offensive, so they flunked me out of their classes. So, yeah.
We've had some very similar experiences out there.
I'm in love with biology, all that stuff, and this is the thing. This is the thing that in my life is like, bro. So I'm like, all right. I recognize. I see what we've got here. I can't deny it. It's this entity has a presence, and it always has my whole life. So it's been kind of like fun.
I love it. So now tell me. So we know now what Rhonda. We now know what Rhonda means to you.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us a little about the stories of Rhonda?
So, the stories of Rhonda themselves aren't nice. So, when I was learning this stuff, I was a little taken aback that like this is the case. So I have my own version of what I think really happened, which is also through the lens of someone who studied art history and understands how revisionist history can have things warped and changed for public opinion and through the ages. So the story that I believe is what I put in this to make it make sense to me is that somewhere in the 10th century in Bali, there was a woman, a widow, a woman who was a farmer and very intelligent and very capable. As such, she was a little.
Well, already she just needs to be burnt. Like, I mean, obviously, capable women just unacceptable.
Exactly. And she had a daughter.
Oh no.
And the daughter was beautiful, and so she's protecting her daughter. And the way the story goes is that everyone wanted to date her because she was mad fine, but the mother was like, get out of here. So as a result, it turns into some people just want the daughter. She's trying to protect her. When what I believe happened is that the daughter was inevitably kidnapped, and then she goes to, she's kidnapped by like political figures who wanted the clout of, oh, she's mad fine. Well, obviously I'm the prince. So yeah, here comes this. But it's probably
because women are possessions.
Exactly.
So there's that. Okay.
So they kidnap the daughter, and then when the mother comes to for justice, they killed her. And
they killed the daughter, or they killed
they killed the mother.
The mother. Okay. All right.
So the story that comes about is that, okay, so there was this witch and she's really ugly, but her daughter is super hot, and these noble princes came to liberate her. And then once they freed the daughter, the witch came after them. So they stole her magical book, and then she was powerless. And then they slayed the witch, and everyone was happily ever after. And then there's and I don't buy it. It's like it just sounds awful, because it's just these two guys just flexing that they're like, yeah, and and they got this trophy village daughter. So I'm like, that's awful. And as the story progresses, because you got to put the blockbuster spin on it to make it cool, is she eventually comes to be, she's this necromancer who's still protecting a village, but and these two the prince and his best friend go and liberate the daughter, and before the mother, the witch, comes about, she Thanos snaps half the village dead, and with her dark magic through plague and flood, and as a result, she's now responsible for the death of all children, plague, anything ever that's bad, all evil spirits in the forest, anything that you can think of that's awful, they put on this poor woman.
So tell me a little more about this snap. So what was the impetus for this?
I can only imagine that in later generations that there may have been disasters and famine. Yeah. Indonesia is an island nation, and it's prone to monsoons and all kinds of other things like that. So when these things happen, you go, oh, well, we're going to blame an evil spirit. So it must be that evil spirit someone talked about 100 years ago, which actually was just a victim. And that's how I feel about it. It would make sense to me. So, but the original story is that Rhonda, which in translation means widow, is that she is in the ultimate witch goddess of evil power, but also protection. They recognize that. That's excellent. And it's one thing worth mentioning is that she's not necessarily like reviled. When you see the Barong and Rhonda dances, because they're always fighting, and if you to put it in, I guess, more relatable terms, Rhonda is so Bali is Hinduism, and the Rhonda is more an offshoot of Kali.
Yeah.
And she's it boils down to the way you would imagine Tiamat versus Bahamut, and they just kind of dance and battle, but no one wins. Yeah. And it's this balance of good and evil, but it's not like evil is absolutely bad. It just exists. You have to recognize that it has its purposes. And
so the image that I'm having right now of this dance is that it's not even about good and evil. It's about the methods by which you protect what you love. Yeah. Do you protect things with destruction, or do you or do you protect them with preservation? That sounds like that's what is sort of forming here.
I just had an idea. I got to go tell my wife that Rhonda is the Cobra Kai of this story. It's gonna be strike first and no mercy. It's gonna be awesome. She's gonna love it.
Absolutely. Oh my God, I love it.
So and it's great because, like, in my experiences, she didn't like put up a ward. She chased out those ghosts in my dreams. So it's cool. Yeah, I like it. So I'm with that. And that's more or less the story, without getting into specific names and details of who these princes were and who they were originally based off. There is an offshoot story which came about later in generations, that Rhonda was specifically a concubine of the queen who was into dark magic and worshiping dark gods and sacrifice and stuff like that. But I think that might have been a secondary story that may or may not have happened. And they just kind of, well, we'll just loop it all together because it'll make this person look even worse.
Yeah.
So either way, cool necromancy or awesome dark magic.
Absolutely.
I'm with it.
Well, I love it. I love it. There's so I'm gonna let you take the lead on the storytelling.
Oh, sure.
I already have like a couple of ideas that I would love to put in there.
Yeah. No, I'm open to it. I'm leaving space for it.
Let's see.
Wow, you were right. That came to 45 minutes exactly. Look at that.
Yeah. It's good times. It's good times. Now let's see. So we are, Lando, let's pop up the Google Doc. All right, and this is just a super basic thing that we are going to start filling out. So the first question I have for you is, what's this adventure going to be about?
This adventure is going to be, in a figurative sense, I want players and their characters to second guess what evil means. So what it's actually going to be about is characters are I want this to be something that anyone can just slap into a campaign. So as you're traveling somewhere, you come across, let's say, a defiled shrine, and it's at the forefront of a village. Like, you have to travel a little bit to get to it. They find the shrine is, first they're attacked by ghosts. We'll do that. They're attacked by ghosts. They don't know where they come from, and these ghosts are a little different. They come upon the shrine.
Okay, so chapter 1.
Yes.
Chapter 1 is Shrine attacked by ghosts. I'm going to get rid of this green throughout the document. It isn't there for some reason.
Sure.
And there we go. All right, so chapter 1. All right, Shrine. We are attacked by ghosts.
Yes. I know in D&D, the ghosts, when you get hit with a fright attack, if you fail the save by more than 5, you are aged. Rhonda is attributed to being an entity that eats babies. So instead, we're going to say these ghosts actually make you younger.
Oh, so she sucks the age out of you? Is she? Well, this is interesting, because if this is going to be a thing, if this is going to be a component, then I want to make it a thematic component throughout the adventure.
Yes.
So, all right. So, what is she doing there? Is she attempting to, like, absorb the experiences that one would have had with that age? Is she just trying to make more babies because she wants lunch? Like, what's happening there?
So the motive behind everything, and this goes to, I want it all to be misread by the players. I want them to go to the shrine and think this is evil. This is obviously the problem, but there won't be any answers there. The truth of it is that this shrine, evil as it is, protects this village and guards this graveyard. And now that the shrine has been defiled and someone has stolen something from it, the ghosts are on the loose. And because these ghosts recognize that they are still guarded by Rhonda, they themselves, not evil, just dead, think that if they can make young offerings, that it might appease her should she return. So they have the
Okay.
ability to kind of mess with people. So we'll do that. It'll all come out.
So
later.
all right. So the ghosts are going to attempt to de-age people, and then offer them to Rhonda.
Yes.
All right. Okay. That is. So we're in a shrine. They're attacked by ghosts. Is the shrine already defiled
Yes.
when they get there?
Yep.
Okay.
They're coming across a crime scene, it looks like.
Shrine is already defiled. How is it defiled?
Someone came through, broke a bunch of stuff, burned a section, and then stole something. Something's missing. Like you'll see like a platform where an offering would be, or maybe a jewel, and that slot's empty. I always make it a point to put thieves' cant on everything. So anyone if there's a rogue in the party, they can recognize that it says "Do not steal from this place." It's off limits. Do not steal from this place.
Okay, cool. Now, all right. Because we want to do a subversive thing.
Yep.
I would like to insert a temple in the village. And I feel like if we did a temple to Bahamut, that would be totally appropriate in this situation.
Yes.
So what I'll say is temple to Bahamut exists in town. And so I feel like so who did you want to have defile this?
A paladin.
Okay, let's make it a paladin of Bahamut, a young zealot paladin of Bahamut
100%.
who wants to prove themselves. Young zealot paladin wanted to prove themselves, so they defiled the shrine to Rhonda. So now, is Rhonda going to wake up at any point in this?
So I wanted it to be kind of a distant thing. And one thing I do in my games is I like to bestow temporary power in small ways to different players. So inside the shrine, if they're investigating it, I want someone to spot like a firefly landing on something. And if they approach it, or if they investigate it, or if they touch it, it will grant them a one-time eldritch magic based ability to banish a ghost.
Okay, what's going to be the DC on that perception? Like a 15 maybe?
We'll make it 13. I want them to see it.
Okay. DC 13 perception check for spotting firefly inside the shrine. I don't know how to type apparently. There's inside the shrine. Now, what significance does the firefly have to Rhonda?
Nature and a little bit of light in the darkness.
Okay, that's a theme I'd like to run with too. There is firefly will grant one-time ability to banish a ghost. Okay. All right, so we've got a couple of themes going now. So we've got the transferring of youth. We have got the small light in the darkness. Let's see what else we get, and let's see where we can take this fabulous little story. So you've gone to the shrine, you've gotten rid of the ghosts. I think that generally like a combat and a small role-playing scene will take up an act, you know. So I'm going to move the Temple of Bahamut to Act 2. And I'm going to say a priest of Bahamut helps the adventurers heal their wounds at the temple. Attacked by ghosts, hopefully defeat ghosts. Okay, so we've got, so for chapter 1, we are setting up the scene. They come across the village. There is this defiled shrine before they can get into the village, and this is a nice way for DMs to like start the actual adventure, is that the adventurers don't need to run around a whole bunch and figure anything out to start. They just get jumped by a bunch of ghosts.
Yeah.
And they just have to defend themselves. So fabulous. I'm just gonna put a little note. This happens first. And then they can explore the shrine if they want to, and then they will head over, and then the priest will come, be very helpful, take them to Bahamut, setting up this idea that the adventurers are doing the right thing, that the priest is kindly and delightful. Kindly priest of Bahamut. And then at the beginning of chapter 2, they can meet the Paladin.
Yes.
The Shrine of Rhonda. Tell me, how does this story progress?
So I'm thinking that the Paladin. So if we're gonna have the temple inside the village, or at least like a small little church of that, the village reveres Rhonda for her protection, and I think if the place has been established long enough, it knows not to mess with it, and just kind of they live in coexistence. So then,
right. So first tell me where you want the adventure to go then, because that'll help us decide what the relationship is.
Okay. So if I'm guiding these players, there's the off-road that will say, we could put a sign up that says Desu, which would be the Indonesian word for village, but it'll be like an arrow. It's like, this is the place to go. So that it'll help guide them in a direction. DSU. Then they can show up. They can meet. They can get healed by the cleric. The cleric can explain that they are at odds with a visiting paladin who doesn't understand the relationship, sensed evil, went after it, and is insisting that he's right, or they are right. Okay. And since this is a tiny village, he's trying to throw his weight around and say, you are wrong about the teachings of Bahamut. Bahamut would have handled this, and he's just trying to body everybody. Okay. But even the clerics might be against it.
All right, Young Zealot Paladin. All right, so the priests understand kindly priest of Bahamut helps adventurers. In that situation, okay, let's keep moving. And there is, so now in Act 2, what do you want to have happen there?
So I suppose at this point, the players still think that the shrine is evil and probably responsible for all of this. They will need to start setting them up.
In that situation, then they do not meet the priest in Act 1. They only meet the paladin.
Yeah, that
in
works.
Act 1. So
Yeah.
that there is, all right, so fabulous. So Young Zealot Paladin wanted to prove himself. This is one of the things about living documents, everybody in chat, is that anything can be changed as new ideas come up. So when you are writing something, do not be scared to just be like, oop, nope, we're changing that. Great. Fabulous. It's not done until it's actually done and you are happy with it. So, all right. So they get attacked by ghosts. Do you want the Zealot Paladin to help them defeat the ghosts and ingratiate themselves by doing that?
If they get attacked on the way to the village, yeah. Maybe the Paladin can roll up.
So the story hook, so I think that the best story hook here is going to be that they just, as they enter the village, like the graveyard's on the outskirts of the village, they just automatically get attacked.
Yeah.
That's just how the adventure starts, is you get attacked by ghosts, you know. Okay. There is, all right, so Paladin of Rhonda is now helping adventurers defeat ghosts. All right. What is the thing that this paladin stole?
It stole a necklace of rings, which symbolize or relate to the daughter.
Okay.
So they're shiny, they're gold, they're pretty. Actually gave Henry a really nice necklace.
Oh, yay.
That was my offering when I moved her in here.
And I'm sure she loves it. So now, so this necklace of rings, first of all, how was it created? Was it created by the villagers? Is this a reliquary? Is this an artifact? Is this just an ornament?
We'll say it was ornamental to begin with, but it grew to house power.
Okay,
of
so
protection.
as the graveyard was filled and as the people revered Rhonda for her protection, it imbued this necklace with power.
Yeah. Okay. So we can call it a necklace of protection +1.
So because Rhonda is representative of necromantic power, I would love to give it something like a death ward, where you know, where it's like maybe you have like immunity to spells that cause instant death.
I love that.
You know.
Yeah. Okay,
necklace. So, and let's call it, did Rhonda's daughter have a name?
Ratna. Ratna.
Necklace of Ratna. Let's say +1 to AC and immunity to spells that cause instant death. All right, cool. So the paladin has this. Just to throw in a little fun lore there. Let me know if this is going off the rails.
No, this is great. Yeah.
The necklace, the necklace only becomes a necklace of Ratna after being in place for 100 years in a sanctified and protected space.
I love it.
Necklace only becomes a necklace of Ratna after 100 years of protection is accomplished. All right, fabulous. So that means this town's been around for a while. The graveyard's been around for a while. It's been more than 100 years. So there's many generations in this graveyard. All right, cool. So, so that's a great start to our story. We've got an attack by ghosts. The paladin shows up, becomes the paladin with the oath of exposition, where they tell them what they stole. And why they defiled this, because Rhonda is an evil goddess of necromancy, essentially.
Yep.
Tells the adventurers about how Rhonda is an evil goddess of necromancy. All right, cool.
I want to add later, or that like one of the things they'll notice is specifically offerings made in little red leaf baskets around the place that have all been stepped on and that kind of stuff. And then later on at the end of this, if any of the players make an offering having completed this quest, they can be visited in their dreams by Rhonda for a potential Warlock patron.
Are we making a new patron?
Yeah.
Yay! Oh my God! Yes! Oh, this is gonna be fabulous. All right, so offerings around the shrine are crushed. Offerings are in they're in red leaf baskets.
Yeah, like a palm tree leaf or like a tobacco leaf, but red, because her colors are red, black, and white, which were incidentally my high school colors.
All right. And so now we are going to put into rewards, we are going to put if a player gives an offering in a red leaf basket to Rhonda, they can be visited in their dreams for games and gain patronage from Rhonda. All right, cool. So what I'm gonna say is then we're gonna speed up the storytelling process a little bit, because I want to leave between half an hour and 45 minutes to actually design this patron, because it's essentially going to be, we're going to be designing a new Warlock subclass.
Oh boy.
As well. Okay. So just FYI, we're here now. We're making an item. We're making a Warlock subclass. We're doing the things. This is how storytelling goes, kids. All right. So I want to jump to chapter 3 and see what happens at the end, so that we can start layering in foreshadowing for everything. So that, because it's just one of those things where if the foreshadowing is good, when you get to the end and you figure it out, this happened with my players last week, where I foreshadowed the shit out of the fact that somebody in their group was just like, this person is going to try to murder you, like they're going to get you. Nobody caught it. So when they actually tried to murder them, it was like, oh my God, oh no, I knew it. So yes, I want that reaction for players with this thing. So, all right. So in Act 3, what's actually going to happen?
I think they need to either confirm, they need to either fight the paladin or find a way to talk him down. But to raise the stakes, I think the paladin might want to wipe the temple off the face of the earth. So, because if everyone's talking about it, he knows he's right. They know they're right. So might makes right. I'm a righteous paladin. You're all bumpkins. You don't know anything. I'm going to solve this for you. I'm going to wreck this temple completely.
Okay. In order to set that up in Act 2, what we can do is this can be a very, very old temple that tells a slightly different story about Rhonda and Bahamut.
Cool.
Where I would love if there's a symbol on the wall that's sort of vaguely sort of yin-yang, some sort of like movement into each other.
Yep.
of Bahamut and Rhonda working together instead of like, the traditional standing apart from each other. I think that'll be beautiful. That'll give the Paladin a reason to want to take down the temple because they're blaspheming.
Yes.
And then at that point, we'll have to figure out in Act 2 why the players choose to like side with the priest, or maybe they don't, and they discover after the fact this was the last temple that understood this ancient relationship between these two deities. All right, so Temple of Bahamut exists in town. The temple is an ancient sect that understands the true relationship between Bahamut and Rhonda. They work together to protect. This is also why they can suck the life out of it, because Rhonda only protects the young and the innocent and destroys other people. Once they've lost their innocence, then they're all fair game, and she can just take it. She can just take them out.
Yes, let's do that. I love it.
Okay, so let's see. There is, they work together to protect the world. Rhonda protects youth and innocence and destroys
corruption or
corruption.
Evil.
And destroys corruption without mercy.
Yes.
Without mercy. Bahamut is more forgiving of mistakes and cherishes repentance, which Rhonda just doesn't allow. If you fuck up, Rhonda's there to shut you down.
Rhonda's
and
bad
Bahamut, yeah. I love it. And since it destroys corruption, which comes with experience.
I guess she's lawful evil.
I feel like
neutral, if anything.
Yeah. I think that she is like, I feel like, no, I guess she would be considered lawful evil because there's no margin for mercy, with her. That there is just, except she will send her servants to go and turn you back. Oh, that's the thing. She'll send her servants to turn you back into a child so that you can try again.
Love that.
Like, that's what she does. Okay. All right. Let's see. So, Rhonda sends her servants, ghosts, to what's the word? I don't have the word for that. To eat your age, to suck out your age.
To rejuvenate.
To consume your experience.
Yeah.
Consume your experiences and turn you back to a child. And what we'll do with this is we'll turn this into a speech that the priest gives.
Yeah.
Either if you side with the priest will then give you this speech. If you side with the paladin, the priest will give this speech on his deathbed. Like, as he's dying, he'll give you this speech. Yeah. Let's see. Rhonda sends her servants to consume your experiences and turn you back to a child so you can try again. Bahamut teaches you to work through your darkness and find the light on the other side.
We can make it even muddier if we give the priest some of the necromantic abilities.
Ooh.
And then the paladin
They're
can
priests
be
of
like,
twilight.
Yeah, sure.
They get to be priests of twilight, so they have both the light and the dark.
There you go.
All right,
and the paladin is like, you're not supposed to have these abilities. Clearly, you're doing something shady.
I love it. Okay, priests of this temple are all priests of twilight and have both healing and necromantic abilities. All right, so that's the setup for, that's the sort of, or the framework for chapter 2 is there is this temple. So let us say then that all right, so Paladin. So what do we want to do with the Paladin? The Paladin was the shrine just like a thing that he did on his way to destroy the temple? Does he know about the temple?
When I originally thought of this, I kind of liked it if he didn't know about it and he just came across it and he was like, what is this insult sitting out here? And he doesn't know anything about it, so he just goes in headlong. Maybe he's, previously a war hero and doesn't have to ask questions because he's confident.
All right. So Paladin of Bahamut is arrogant. Now the thing is, we don't want to make him unlikable.
Yeah.
We want him to be likable. We want him to be a hero, so that when it's subverted, it's that much more difficult for the players to work through it, right? Because that challenge then creates a much better reward for the players. So the Paladin of Bahamut notices the sign of Bahamut on the temple, as there would be both Bahamut and Rhonda signs on there. So sees it. Paladin of Bahamut notices the sign of Bahamut on the temple and goes there to recover from the fight. Inside let's do they. Inside they notice the crest of the combined gods. All right, so now the Paladin will lead them to the temple. Obviously, they can go anywhere else in the village that they want. I'm sure we can put like a little shop in there and things like that. They can talk to some of the villagers, whatever that looks like. But they get to the temple and let me see. Oh my God, Mirrored Ankh. Thank you so much for those community subs. I'm sorry that I didn't see that earlier. We are getting into it over here. This is the thing. This is the thing that is happening over here. Okay, yes. So they're in the temple now, and we want the third act to be them defeating the Paladin.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be combat because I'm so used to my players are all pacifist. So I don't necessarily always give them an out. But if they decide to figure it out,
I'm 100% there for a no combat resolution. What I think we can set up in Act 2 is they essentially have to make a choice between Bahamut and Rhonda. And depending on which choice they make, they are going to have to deal with those repercussions. So I am looking at essentially the paladin either being chastised by Bahamut and maybe being like set to guard the graveyard for 100 years, you know, as his punishment, or literally having all of his experience sucked out of him by Rhonda so that he can start his journey over in this temple.
Yeah.
One of those, and just depending on, like, if you, I would say, like, you know, if you kill the priests, then at that point, like, the paladin is going, his punishment is going to be to look over the souls of the priests for 100 years by Bahamut. And if you side with the priests against the paladin, then at that point, Rhonda will come once you have, like, once you get them to, like, bloodied or, like, almost dead, like, once they're unconscious, Rhonda will appear and stop you from destroying the paladin and will then pull all the paladin's experience out. And I would love if it's like, when they do that, they enhance the abilities of the necklace with the experiences of the paladin.
Oh,
you know?
yeah, that's awesome.
So that's the big prize at the end, is this now very powerful necklace. Yes. Okay. So, all right. How are we feeling about that?
I think it's wonderful. I love that.
Okay. So chapter 3 is going to be defeat the paladin. So there will absolutely be combat involved there, or ooh. Okay. Let's start there. We're gonna start there. Do the thing. We're gonna start there. All right. So we're gonna defeat the paladin. Once the paladin is unconscious, they either Bahamut or Rhonda will show up to mete out punishment. Rhonda will suck all the experience out of the paladin, allowing them to make better choices. I think their choices this time around. We'll suck all the experience out of the paladin, changing them to a child and allowing them to make better choices this time around. So essentially she's going to, like, turn them into, like, a basket baby, like a baby that shows up in a basket at the temple. Like, it's like, okay, fabulous. Bahamut will set them to guard the graveyard and the spirits of the dead priests for 100 years in order to learn patience. I feel like that's something to Bob to do. It's just, no, we're gonna curb that temper. Here you go. Think about what you did for 100 years. I think that's gonna be fabulous. Okay, cool. So we've got that in chapter 3, which means now we need to figure out in chapter 2 how to give them the choice to make this happen.
Oh boy.
So they've shown up. They are having they're getting everything healed. The paladin notices the sign notice the crest of the combined gods and begins screaming about blasphemy. In this situation, I think there are, and chat, I am absolutely open to any ideas that you might have.
We've already established that Rhonda can slightly communicate, at least through a firefly. So we could use that as a breadcrumb towards
yes,
something
thank you.
else, maybe like a statue or to a local a shrine within the village, or to a grave of a young woman. That could have been the daughter, and then they might that might give them a lead of what to investigate. Just like, oh, so who was this person?
Yeah, so I feel like the daughter thing I'd like to avoid, just because if we are creating an artifact that can be created anywhere, the daughter would have been many hundreds of years ago. There's I feel like making the choice. Let's put a little something in there from Bahamut. So the dragonfly is from Rhonda. Let's put something the first act from Bahamut.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
And so then they can choose, and then like the firefly could lead them to like an archive or something like that, where there's information, about what's going on in this temple. And the Bahamut, like the paladin's going to want to follow the Bahamut thing, right? And that will lead them into probably another a bad situation with a priest, where there's something going on where there'll be a misunderstanding about what's happening with this priest, and then that can kick off the fight with everything.
So what if like the message from Bahamut, Paladin sees it, the party sees it, it leads them to a mural that tells the story, and the Paladin misunderstands it and sees that, oh, Bahamut taking me here to destroy this, and doesn't even bother to try to read it, and just goes, I'm going to tear this down. And the party might want to look at it.
Sure, but as soon as the Paladin starts tearing it down, then the priests start coming after the Paladin, because he's now desecrating the temple. Okay, fabulous. All right, so let's see. Then we've got, all right. Firefly appears.
We could even have the Paladin ask for a message and let that be it. Because when the Paladin summons it, it's like, well, obviously, I'm the guy who's in charge of this message.
Yeah. There is, all right, so let's do, so in chapter 1, so Bahamut is, canaries. That's the thing, because Bahamut appears on Earth with canaries. So that can absolutely be a thing where there's a firefly, and then outside the graveyard, there is like a yellow canary. And they can, and that's sort of the sign that the Paladin got to destroy the shrine, because the yellow canary sat down on it, misunderstood that meant Bahamut is protecting this place as well. All right, so hold on. So shrine. Okay, so they see a shrine. This is the Young Zealot. It helps the adventurers defeat the ghost. Tells the adventurers how Rhonda is evil goddess of necromancy, and then points out the yellow canary as a sign that Bahamut wanted him to destroy this shrine. All right, fabulous. So we've got the dragonfly now, we've got the yellow canary. What I would love to do in this situation is have like 2 priests in the temple during Act 2, and the temple is dark, and each of them casts light. And for one priest, the light is a dragonfly, and for the other priest, the light is a canary. And then the players have to choose which one they're going to follow.
Ooh. Okay. Lando mentioned in chat of
Yes.
of to use, like, say, the canary poops on the paladin. And it's like a way to demonstrate that, to foreshadow, to hint that he's not actually being accepted for what his actions are.
Yes.
I like that a lot.
I like it. All right, cool. So, we are, let's see, signed that Bahamut wanted him to destroy the shrine. Stole the necklace of rings that represents Rhonda's daughter. After they stole this offering, the canary landed on their shoulder and pooped. All right. A sign that Bahamut isn't happy, but the paladin doesn't notice. All right, cool. So we've got that. We've got the temple. Priests of this temple are all priests of Twilight. They have with healing and necromantic abilities. Paladin of Bahamut notices the sign. Okay. Let's wait on the screaming part. So that is, so it's going to be, all right, cool. So we've got that. Then we have got, I noticed the crest of the combined. Why are you now being weird with me? My little guy. Nope, you're being gross and I don't like it. All right, let's see. There we go. All right, there's, so, two priests lead the two priests cast the light spell to brighten the room. One priest's light is in the form of a dragonfly. The other priest is in the form of a canary. Dragonfly is a symbol of Rhonda, and canary is a symbol of Bahamut. All right, cool. So we've got that in there. Now, I'm just going to call them Dragonfly and Canary.
Oh, and
Dragonfly.
Firefly.
Firefly, I'm sorry, Firefly.
Yep.
Not Dragonfly. Firefly. Firefly. Have I been doing Dragonfly this whole time?
Nope, just the slot, just the spot.
Okay, all right, that is. All right, so Firefly, so we will do, so Firefly will lead them to, I'd like to have two separate spots. One that is, for Rhonda, it's like maybe a grove outside or something like that that's just full of fireflies. What are your thoughts? What would that look like? What is that going to be?
That would probably be where the crops and stuff are. Like some of the best farming spot is she's providing a lot. So
okay. To the most fertile lands, into the most fertile lands that are blanketed by fireflies. explains Rhonda's desire to protect and provide. Protect and provide for all the children. Yeah, there is, and that could absolutely be a part of Rhonda's legacy, is the fact that, like, whether we recognize it or not, the damaging things we do hurt children.
Yeah.
And that anything you do that would hurt a child, even if it's just in sort of an ancillary way, you know, Rhonda will come and just shut you the fuck down. Like, it could be, another layer could absolutely be that Rhonda doesn't punish the action. Rhonda punishes because she's not about what you do. Bahamut's about what you do. He's about the actions you take and learning to take better actions. And Rhonda is all about the victims. Rhonda is all about the trauma that is created, and she is trying to stop that trauma.
Yes.
From even beginning. Like, that's where that whole thing. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Because then it's not about what you did. Like, it could absolutely be like why some people are like, oh, it's like, well, she did this and she did that, and but she didn't punish this person over here. And it's like, well, because that person didn't create any trauma. Like, they did the exact same thing as this person over here, but there was trauma involved over here and there wasn't trauma involved over here, because people are different. So your actions, you know, aren't necessarily going to generate the same emotional result. Yes. You know, and that's what she looks out for. That's what she is protecting, is
justice for victims.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm here for it. And provide for all her children. Her main goal is to stop trauma from happening in the first place, and to generate justice for those who have been traumatized. Fabulous. Okay, cool. So we've got that. I like it. Thank you, Nathan. I appreciate that. There's all right. So we've got that. Where does, and then the priest with the canary then will take them to the mural that you suggested.
Yeah.
Okay. And Canary will lead them to the mural of Bahamut, and Rhonda working together to prevent harm and that could absolutely be like the reason that they fight, is like they're both trying to prevent harm, but when they can't prevent the harm, then Rhonda wants to destroy the person in order to get justice for the victim, and Bahamut wants to rehabilitate them. Yes. You know, there's all right, absolutely. Can I just say, I'm loving the complexity, the emotional complexity of this. It's making me so happy.
And it's great too at this point, because if they've been attacked by the ghosts, then whoever got that ability from Rhonda as like a warlock spell, the ward, would know that this protects, that it's a protecting spirit. So like they could literally just have one ghost show up and then that player just goes no. And they don't have to actually do the fight, but they have had an encounter and demonstrated that these fireflies are not against them.
Yeah.
So
I love it. Oh my gosh. They learn that the two gods fight only about how to deal with the person generating harm. Bahamut wants to rehabilitate. Rhonda wants to destroy. All right. Fabulous. All right, so now we have to get them to the point where they're going to fight the paladin, right?
Yeah.
So this is easy enough with Canary. As soon as the story is told, Paladin begins ranting about blasphemy, because I know how to spell blasphemy, and immediately attacks the priest, and I want the priest to do something that most players would consider evil, like summoning an undead of some kind, something like that, where it's like, or maybe they have, like, this is something because they're Twilight priests, that each of them, when you get to a certain level, you actually summon an undead that you then keep alive every 24 hours. You recast that spell, so all of them have like a skeleton minion.
Yes.
So as soon as the priest is attacked, immediately attacks the priest. Once that happens, let's say 6. So what level do we want this to be at?
I don't know. It could be a mid-level. I typically, I prefer in my own games, I get the most work in before level 5.
Mm-hmm.
But I know a lot of games run at level 6, so we could make it level 6.
Okay. Let's do. Why don't we do level 4 to 6?
Yeah.
And then if it's level 4, they'll be like regular skeletons, and if it's level 6, then they can be like giant skeletons or zombies or something like that. We can figure that out.
Yeah.
Once that happens, and I'll say 6 undead appear from alcoves in the walls to defend the priest. And we can level it up by then adding another priest, things like that.
Yeah, scale it up.
All right, once that happens, 6 undead appear to defend the priest. Priest of what level do you get raise undead or create undead? That's, I want to say 5th level. Is that a 3rd level spell?
Create.
I want to say. Let's look. Hey, chat. Do you know? Do you have any idea? Do you have any idea what's going on?
6th level spell.
It's oh wait, that's the big create undead. What's like raise undead? Or there's one that does like skeletons and zombies, and then like create undead, I think, does like whites and like that kind of stuff.
Sure. I've never played a cleric, so I couldn't tell you.
Yes, feel better, Amber. Thank you for protecting your friends and your community by getting that fabulous shot. That is awesome. 3rd level spell. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you, Sick Professor. So that's 5th level. All right, so all 5th level. Each priest of 5th level in the temple has an undead minion. All right, cool. So that sets up a fight. So you could have in this adventure potentially 3 combats if you want. You know, if you've got combat oriented players, that's great for them. If you've got more storyline oriented players, we also have plenty of ways for them to like avoid the combat, all of that. So I think it's nice. It'll work for a lot of people. All right. So then, all right. And that gets you into combat there. Now we need to figure out how to get you into combat with the Paladin. So if you get into combat with the priest.
Yep.
Oh, let's say, here we go. Combat will end once the undead are disposed of. The other priests will then rush inside to explain. And at that point, then the players get the full story. Players get full story. And if they still want to destroy everyone in the temple, that is 100% their prerogative. Totally fine.
Yep.
You can skip chapter 3, know that you destroyed the evil temple, and head out of town.
Yeah, you get the level 1 necklace, the basic version of the necklace.
Yeah, there's let's see. So, but you also will be. If you destroy the temple, you will be chased out of town by all the villagers.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, combat ends. They get the full story. If players choose to destroy the priests and the temple, they will be chased out of town by the angry villagers. Okay, fabulous. So the adventure could end in Act 2. But if you want the secret ending, all right, so Firefly will lead them to the fertile fields with the dragonflies, explain Rhonda's goal is to stop trauma instead of to punish sinners. When the players come back into the temple, the Paladin has destroyed all the undead and is now attempting to kill the priests.
Ooh, okay. Also, maybe when they're at the field, if any character can use Detect Evil, they would recognize it. But if anyone is familiar with nature, they would see that this bounty is very healthy. And that there's offerings made by the town to it, which might also make it look dark, but also it's like, I don't see anything.
Wait, so is this
bad here.
the shrine?
Like they respect this space for being as good to the village as it is.
So we're not sorry. I was specifying. So we're talking about the shrine, not the fields with the fireflies.
No, the fields. Yes, the fields.
The fields. Okay. So are there offerings around the fields?
Yes.
Okay. So, and let's see. Protection pride. All main goal. To the fertile fields, to the fertile lands, are blanketed by fireflies. There are many offerings to Rhonda. So then we will do DC 13 again. DC 13 nature check.
Yeah, it's fine.
Nature check shows that the fields are incredibly fertile, are unnaturally fertile. Unnaturally fertile. And if they cast detect good and evil, I feel like they wouldn't find either in this situation.
Yeah, that's fair.
If players cast detect good, evil, they will find neither.
I think they should discover like a statue of Rhonda there.
Okay. Let's see. So, blanketed by fire, is there many offerings to Rhonda surrounding a small statue on the outskirts of the field.
Yeah.
All right,
should
cool.
got some mixed emotions.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's all right, so we've got that. When the players get back into the temple, the paladin has destroyed the undead and is about to start killing the priests for blaspheming. All right, cool. So the players can choose to either help kill the priests or they can choose to stop the paladin. If they choose to stop the paladin, then Act 3 begins and you start battling the paladin. All right, so let's make this fight a little more interesting, shall we? Instead of just a cutesy little, let's beat him up. There is, I'd like to add a layer effect.
Yeah.
What would this layer of the two gods, what would the effect be at the top of every initiative round? Oh my God, Cassie, I'm so sorry. I just saw the make them do push-ups thing. I know what happened half an hour ago. I apologize. That is absolutely. Who, Cassie? I'm going to need you to name who is going to be doing these push-ups. Is it me or is it Matt? Which one of us? You might have to do push-ups, Matt. That's
Fine
right. That's what you get for appearing on my stream. Damn it. Oh, Malakisa. Okay, we'll just split it between. We'll each do 20 push-ups. Okay, sure. You monsters.
Are we doing them right now or what?
All right, give me a minute.
Oh boy, here we go. So made a variation after push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20.
Oh, okay.
If I wasn't sweating already.
Oh, all right. Okay. How he's doing?
Good.
Got some push-ups. Got some push-ups. The
endorphins gonna make us smarter. I like it.
That's right. I'm the smart one. Oh Lord. Okay. Thanks, Malakisa.
Thank you.
Monster. Terrible person. All right, so
do you have an example layer effect?
So it's things like for my Lich that I created for one of my games. One of her layer effects is she's able to rejuvenate a spell slot of a certain level depending on what she rolls, right? You've got layer actions where, like in a dragon layer, a dragon will be able to like
Oh,
do
layer
some.
actions. I heard like layers. I don't know why I forgot about that. That's a thing. I
Yeah,
understand.
yes,
Yeah.
but I'm happy to introduce a new mechanic: layered actions.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Oh, we're on the same page again. I'm back. Right. Okay.
Okay. Yes. So a
Layer
layer.
actions. Yes.
Layer.
So
Action.
for this paladin, we can say that he was a hero before. So he may have like a specific blessing of Bahamut or something, some trophy he's won somewhere else that he can activate. So it could be something personal to him that may cause mayhem in the fight.
Okay. So first, we're gonna need to do a stat block for a paladin, so that the DM has that. I'm happy to do like a first blush version, and then like have you edit it down so it's not going to take an enormous amount of your time. So we will defeat the paladin. Paladin, I would like, even at this low level, I think what I'd like to do is I'd like to give the paladin a single legendary action each round. Gets one legendary action each round. What would that be for a paladin? The obvious thing is smite, but I don't like obvious things.
Yeah, agreed.
Let's see.
How about like I'm not really too familiar with using layer actions though, or legendary actions. It's something
So
I
legendary
always wanted to
action.
use, but yeah.
So a legendary action is an action that you take at the end of someone else's turn in the initiative order. So it is, so for like dragons, like if you attack a dragon, then a dragon, it's essentially a reaction to somebody else. It's an extra reaction that you can use, but it's generally more powerful than a reaction.
I'm just trying to think of like a benchmark of like what kind of things, like what would it be, like a level 2 spell, level 4 spell, or like an ability?
It really depends. In this situation, if it's 4 to 6, I would say probably no magic. I think that would unbalance the fight.
Right. I'm just trying to like find something that I can wrap my head around for like what that
there's
strength
look at beholders or dragons, or I think the lowest legendary action thing, I think it would be beholders that I know of. I'm sure there are things below that, but that's sort of that's when they start. I'm thinking something like the ability to bull rush a target within 30 feet, because that'll give, one of the biggest issues with paladins is movement. That, you know, they're very powerful, but they have to get right in front of you to use most of their abilities. And so that will allow them to start maneuvering a little more around the battlefield. Ooh, it could be anytime. Ooh, that could be the thing. You have to protect the priests in this battle. And anytime you try to help a priest, the paladin can bull rush you away from that priest and position themselves in front of it.
Cool. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work.
So once per round at the end of another person's action, at the end of another person's turn, the paladin can bull rush them and send them sprawling. And I'll get the actual mechanic in there later. All right, cool. So we've got that. send them sprawling. That's delightful. So let's see. So you have to protect the priests. So I guess just you need to. Oh, what if the priests are trying to do a ceremony that will summon the protector of the temple, essentially, to save them? And that's what calls down either Bahamut or Rhonda.
Okay. Yeah. So you might see as it goes, fireflies on the temple light up, and or birds, canaries, or dragon eyes or faces light up.
Yeah.
And as it fills out this pattern, the paladin gets more and more angry.
Yeah. And there's okay, so let's set up for the beginning of the fight. Let's set up a safe spot for the priest. So one priest has created a circle of protection that the paladin can't enter.
It should be on a stage, because the whole thing has a dance that they do. The story comes from.
Oh, so. I love that. Yes. Circle of protection on a central stage in the temple, but the central stage that the paladin can't enter. All right, let's see. As the players get each priest into the circle, the mural will begin to move more. Oh, that'll be a fun mechanic, where like every round, the mural will change, telling more of the story of Bahamut and Rhonda as that happens.
Yeah.
All right.
The more it happens, the more the truth is revealed.
Yeah. As the players get each priest into the circle, the mural begins to move more and more. And then let's do, okay, so one priest. Oh my God. Okay. Could this be, and let me know if this is just wholly inappropriate.
Sure.
Could this be a situation where like the story is about the mother and the daughter to start with, and that when the mother went to go and like get the daughter back and was killed, that her spirit began taking revenge on these people, and Bahamut taught her a better way. That initially it was rage, and then she became a protector. Or does that just wholly go against the sort of ethos of this?
I don't want it to be like an enlightenment thing, but more like she's coming down with this sword of wrath, and he's more of like, okay, hang on. And then it's just kind of like they find a balance together. And
what if they were she wanted to take revenge, he was trying to protect them, and she actually battled a god to withstand still.
That's their whole legend, that they fight all the time, basically.
I love it
that way. Yeah.
All right, so one priest, let's see, so one priest, the legend of the daughter being taken and the mother dying at the hands of the So one thing that I will be sending to you and asking you for, which we're not going to have time to do in the actual stream, is going to be that legend, because I'd like to, if we can, include that legend in the book so the DM can familiarize themselves with that when they tell the story for the mural.
Absolutely.
The legend of the daughter being taken and the mother dying at the hands of the princes. 2 priests. Rhonda getting revenge. Rhonda rising from the dead and getting revenge. 3 priests. Bahamut protecting the village from her rage. 4 priests battling to a standstill. 5 priests.
Harmony.
Harmony and harmony and 6 priests summons Rhonda. That's what you need. Once you get all 6 priests in there, you summon Rhonda. If any of the priests die, then at that point Bahamut gets summoned.
Sure.
All right, so to get the perfect ending, to get the Warlock patron, you actually have to save all the priests.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. There is, once the Paladin is, all right, and Bahamut, Rhonda, all right, so, punishment. Bahamut appears if any of the priests die. And the paladin's goal will always be to kill the priests. Fabulous. Okay, let's look at this. Let's look at what we've created. And chat, let us know what you think. There is. All right, so we start with the adventurers coming across a sign that says Desu, which means village in Indonesian. They find the, let's see, so now the, they find a shrine. Find a shrine. I don't need to write that twice. A shrine being attacked by a paladin. The shrine, all right, so the shrine is already defiled. Yep, they are attacked by ghosts.
I think the Young Zealot should happen before they find the shrine.
Okay, all right, so we will do. So we will get rid of that. And so they see a sign, they're attacked by ghosts. Then they find a shrine being attacked by a paladin. They will discover the Firefly and the Canary. They'll also find the offerings in the red leaf baskets. There is a little sign in Thieves' Cant that says, "Do not steal from this." The Paladin will help them defeat the ghosts and will then lead them to the temple after showing them their fabulous necklace that they just stole and being pooped on by a bird. There is then that should be, a nice basic chapter 1, gives everybody a chance to do some combat, and then immediately gives everybody a chance to sort of talk to each other. And if these are people who are new at the table, like do some role playing with them and the paladin, and then it also gives the DM the option to like sort of move things forward quickly if the players aren't super role play heavy, you know. So then in the second one, they find the temple. The paladin leads them to the temple, recognizes Bahamut's symbols. It's an ancient temple that's all about the relationship between Bahamut and Rhonda. Rhonda being the destroyer of trauma, and Bahamut being the rehabilitator. There is then the priests are all priests of twilight that have necromantic abilities. The paladin notices the sign of Bahamut, goes in. When they get there, two priests appear. One of them has the symbol of Rhonda as their magic. One of them has a symbol of Bahamut. Depending on who they follow, either they will be led to a place where Rhonda's abilities and desires will be explained to them. And they can, you know what, we need to have something there for them, some sort of thing happening in Act 2 instead of just an exposition dump.
Yeah, you're right. Like something that draws them in, or something that they need to do.
So anything that would be some sort of encounter that has to do with Rhonda.
I mean, we could have another ghost fight, or
I'm generally loath. Yeah, I'm generally loath to do two things, to do two of the same things in one adventure.
Yeah.
So let's see. There's
I suppose we could work some villagers in, because if villagers are against, or they're asking questions, they're surprised that the thing was taken. It was, I don't know, is that revealing too much? Because I think villagers would be like, "Hey, quit being a jerk."
Yeah. Oh, you know what? We could do a puzzle here.
There we go.
We could do a puzzle for a power, where it would be something having to do with, the fireflies start making different patterns around the statue. And if you arrange offerings in different ways around the statue, it'll change the formation of the fireflies. And if you get the right one, they'll get something like, something for the fight with the paladin,
sure,
that they need.
A free priest protection spell.
Ooh, yeah, there is. Oh, I love that. They can, like, for like the first round, all of the priests have protection because of these fireflies. Like each one gets a firefly that follows them and protects a priest for one round or from one attack.
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay, cool. I like it. All right, and let's see. Firefly will lead them to most. There will be a Firefly puzzle that rewards. They have to do, instead of that, they have to do, the Fireflies will show them the motions of the dance that the priests are going to do later.
Cool.
And then they have to do those motions. Rewards the players with fireflies to protect the priests. The puzzle will be a series of movements that the players will have to imitate that are the basis of the dance between Bahamut and Rhonda. Awesome. I like that. I think that's cute. There is, all right, so that's their encounter there for 2. If they follow the Firefly, when they get back, all the undead are dead, and the paladins battling the priests, and combat just begins immediately. If they follow the Canary, they go to the mural, And deal with a person generating harm. Working together to prevent harm. I'm gonna say like a DC, I want to say like a DC 15
Insight.
Arcana check.
Oh, that would work too. Yep.
Arcana check will tell the players that the mural is magical. And then that'll set up the whole mural thing for Act 3. And they get told the story of Bahamut and Rhonda. And as soon as that's told, the paladin begins ranting about blasphemy. All the undead come out. There's a battle with the undead and the priest. If you kill all the priests, you get chased out of town. If you just kill the undead, the priests will come in and tell you to stop and explain things. And that's when the one priest creates the circle of protection on the stage and begins doing the dance that you recognize from the fireflies outside, if you saw them.
Yeah.
Cool. So the paladin gets their legendary action. We'll have to create a paladin stat block. And then once you defeat the paladin, if there are, if all the priests are alive, then Rhonda will appear, and she will empower. Let's see, changing them to child, allowing them to make better choices the next time around. They will use the experience of the paladin to empower the necklace, which they give to the players. If Bahamut is summoned, though, nothing happens to the necklace. The paladin is set to guard the graveyard for 100 years. And that's that for poor little guy. So I think that's pretty delightful.
I think it works. Yeah.
Hey, chat. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think's going on? Are we enjoying it? Are we enjoying it? Are we doing the things? I'm very excited about it. Now, you know what we need to do? First off, hey everybody. Thank you for being here and supporting FIG, the Foundation for Inclusivity in Gaming. I love it. There are all kinds of fabulous things that you can get if you donate to FIG, which I'm going to pop into the chat right now. So if you'd like this adventure, remember all of the funds go to fund either Alphabet Mafia or Streamers of Color. Malakisa did wear her fake shirt. I saw it on her stream. Ooh. It was glorious. Awesome. Yay, Malakisa. There's and now what we are going to do is we are going to create a new subclass.
I've never made a subclass before. I'm excited.
Well, this is going to be fat. Oh, first though, we need to figure out what is going to be the cover of this adventure. What piece of art is going to be the cover image? Do you want it to be because I want to hear from you, like, what, when this is out in the world, what kind of artwork do you want on the cover to represent it?
If we could, I guess, say we did the mural in like stage 3 or 2 where they're kind of coming at each other,
where they're battling.
Yeah, so it'll give the illusion of conflict, and like any book, you gotta open it up to get it. So
yeah. And then what do we want to have on the inside? I definitely want to have the paladin.
Yep.
And then we'll have a picture of the paladin with the stat block. Paladin. What else? Do you want to do the item? Do you want to do the necklace? Or do you want to do something different?
We could do a statue of Rhonda with the necklace.
Okay, fabulous. Let's see, statue of Rhonda with the necklace. Okay, fabulous. And we can use that for the item stat block.
Yep.
All right, perfect. I love those now.
You can have like the offerings around the bottom of it, a firefly floating around it.
Oh, I love it. With necklace and offerings and firefly. Fabulous. All right, now we have got Rhonda patron. So I'm gonna head over to D&D Beyond. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go grab, I'm gonna look at game rules. I love D&D Beyond. We have in our about thing, we actually have an affiliate link. So if you still need to go get like, you know, if you want to pre-order the next monster manual, or if you still need Strixhaven or something like that, go use our affiliate code and we will get a little taste there, a little taste. Let's go over to Warlock. All right, and what we're gonna do is, so the Warlock class is not going to change. What we are gonna do is we are going to just see, all right, so we're gonna need to create an expanded spell list for the Warlocks. So it's gonna be a total of 10 spells. I think that for this, we should keep with the, if it's Rhonda, that we should keep with the necromancy.
Yep. A little bit of protection stuff in there, impossible.
Yeah. So abjuration and necromancy. So let's look at, give me just a moment while I pull up the next thing. We're gonna do spells. And let's
Warlock Undead type.
I am going to, I think we can absolutely, first let's look at spell level 1 for Warlocks, and let's see if there's stuff that's useful. If not, I think we can expand it out into sorcery, and even cleric if we want to.
Yes.
Armor of Agathis. Alrighty, just the first one. That's the one that creates cold and does cold damage to people that are trying to hurt you.
Oh yes.
I feel like that is definitely a thing for that. So let me get back. Where am I? I've got so many tabs open right now. All right, so spell list. Spell level 1 is Armor of Agathis. Armor of Agathis, and let's see what else. So is there, there's Hellish Rebuke, which I feel like would definitely fit in.
Yeah. I'm also looking at some of the druid spells too, because she's tapped into crops and nature, flood, pestilence, that kind of stuff.
So what do you see in druid for a first level spell that would be fabulous?
I don't know yet.
All right, so I'm gonna pull up druid 2 and look at that. Give me one sec as we do it to it. Bye, Cassie!
I mean, I'm seeing like infestation or
Ooh, is that first level?
If I'm reading this right, maybe. It's cantrip. It's cantrip.
Okay. There is let me see. No, but I didn't want that. I want spells that are druid spells. Okay.
So purify, food, drink, that's not bad. Entangle could work.
Ooh, yeah. I feel like Entangle might be a fun one. So Armor of Agathis and Entangle. I think that's great for level 1. Okay. All right, so we will pop that in there, Armor of Agathis and Entangle. All right, so if you go up to the top, you can just filter the spells by level. So just go to 2nd level and filter the spells. And why don't I pick one from Warlock, and then you'll pick one from Druid.
Cool.
All right, so let's see. What is this? Ooh. Let me see this. Maybe Flock of Familiars.
Oh my.
Which would, of course, be a bunch of dragonflies.
Yep.
Let's see. I feel like that's the only one that sort of fits this. Ooh. There's something called borrowed knowledge.
Oh, that sounds good.
Where for an hour, you can gain proficiency in any skill that you choose. So I don't know if that would make any sense, but for me, it's either that or Flock of Familiars. So you can summon a whole bunch of fireflies.
Yeah, either one would absolutely work. Because I see her almost having kind of like that Vecna touch, hidden knowledge. And,
let's do that then. Let's do borrowed knowledge. I think that'll be fabulous. And what do you see on your druid?
I'm actually seeing Animal Messenger, which is almost the same thing.
Awesome, and it'll be a firefly.
Yeah, it's either that or like lesser restorations in here. Wither and Bloom.
Ooh, that would be an interesting one for her. I like that. I think that really goes with the theme of this.
Yeah.
That there is, you destroy something and then it gets a chance to rejuvenate itself.
Yep.
Okay. Wither and Bloom. All right, let's go to level 3. Let's see you. I see you, Warlock level 3 spells. I see you. Let's do it to it. And if my computer wants to go and not just sort of hang out, do the thing. It just right now it just wants to hang out. There's let me see. Have fun at work, Malakisa.
Malakisa.
You're fabulous. Okay, there we go. 3rd spell. 3rd level spells. Let's see. And I feel like, ooh.
I've got Tidal Wave over here.
Oh, damn. All right, yes. And I've got Summon Undead.
Ooh, I like that.
Which I think is absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that? Summon Undead and Tidal Wave?
Yeah.
Tidal Wave's a 3rd level spell.
According to D&D Beyond.
Okay, cool. So we've got Summon Undead and Tidal Wave. Fabulous. Let's go on to level 4. Look at us just knocking this shit out.
Crushing.
All right. And
Felta. I have Blight.
I've got Blight too. Let me see. There's what's this? And this is great. Shadow of Moil. Flame-like shadows wreathe your body until the spell ends, causing you to become heavily obscured to others. The shadows turn dim light within 10 feet of you into darkness, and bright light in the same area to dim light. Until the spell ends, you have resistance to radiant damage, which is exactly what they would need against Bahamut.
Yep.
In addition, when a creature within 10 feet of you hits with an attack, the shadows lash out at that creature, dealing 2d8 necrotic damage.
Oh my. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's vengeance right there. Done.
I like it. All right, Shadow of Moyle, good. And what about you?
I'm looking at Guardian of Nature. A
Ooh,
nature
what's
spirit
that?
answers your call and transforms you into a powerful guardian. The transformation lasts until the spell ends. You choose one of the following forms to assume: primal beast or great tree.
Do you feel like that fits the theme?
Kinda, but not so much. I gotta look at Blight now because necromantic energy washes over a creature, blah blah blah. Vitality. If you target plants. She did do crop killing, so yeah, Blight works.
All right, let's do it. Blight. And final level, level 5. There is, let's see what we get here. All right. Come on, D&D Beyond. Give me something fabulous. And let's see. Ooh, Dream. It shapes a creature's dreams.
Oh yeah.
Can't be contacted. Oh, this is. You can. Okay. There's, all right, so messenger can emerge from the trance at any time. So you can communicate with people in their dreams. But you can also appear monstrous and terrifying to the target. Stop them from gaining any benefit from rest. And when the target wakes up, it takes 3d6 psychic damage.
Oh my.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, so that's definitely an option. I love that. Oh, but Enervation. That works really well with this theme.
What does that do exactly?
So if they fail a dexterity save, they take 2d8 necrotic damage, and the spell ends. On a failed save, or if they make their save, on a failed save, they take 48 necrotic damage. And until the spell ends, you can use your action on each of the turns to automatically deal 48 necrotic damage to the target. If you use your action to do anything else, the spell ends. And if the target is ever outside the spell's range or has total cover view, it ends. Whenever this spell deals damage to a target, you regain hit points equal to half the amount of necrotic damage that the target takes.
I'm fine with both of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Enervation, also because in previous editions of D&D, Enervation would actually suck levels out of people.
Yeah, I remember that.
They would literally suck experience. So I feel like that would be super appropriate for our fabulous Warlock here, our patron here. So Enervation. And what's going on the Druid side of things?
I don't know. This stuff's all right.
Do we want to check a cleric thing, maybe?
Maybe, yeah. Or what was that first one you'd mentioned before Enervation?
Oh, the Dream.
Yeah, the Dream one. I think both of those, Enervation and Dreams, yeah, this would work. Because it's kind of like the communication to try to fix things, and then if they don't, it's like, whoops, you fucked up.
Better listen. You better listen. All right, cool. So
like pick a hand.
Got that. So now at first level, your patron will give you an ability. So let's look at I'm just looking at the Archfey. So the Archfey first level ability is Fey Presence. Your patron bestows on you the ability to project the beguiling and fearsome presence of the Fey. As an action, you can cause each creature within a 10-foot cube originating from you to make a wisdom saving throw against your Warlock spell save DC. The creatures that fail your saving throw are all charmed or frightened by you until the end of the turn. So it's something that doesn't have a huge duration, has an effect. It's useful. I feel like at first level it would be some sort of protection thing, right? Let's call it Protection of Rhonda. So let's see. So at level 1, Protection of Rhonda. What does that look like?
You mean like what the physical effects might look like?
Yeah, what is this spell? What would Rhonda do for you if you were her patron? If you essentially, well, so let's figure this out. So who would Rhonda accept? Is it someone, I'm feeling sort of like Rhonda would grab people that are, like, once you become a patron of hers, she looks at you as one of her own children.
Yep.
And so, well, so I guess, all right, so how many things are there? There's going to be a 1st level, a 6th level, a 10th level, and a 14th level. So there's going to be 4 things. So let's tell the story of Rhonda in those 4 things. Beautiful. So let's start with a charm where you become beautiful to everyone around you.
Yeah.
There's, all right, protection. So let's say Beauty of Rhonda.
So cool. Yeah.
I think this could be, let's see, once per day at dawn. At dawn, you perform a ritual to Rhonda. And how about for the day you get how about for like the first 3 charisma saving throws of the day, or 3 charisma checks, skill checks, you get advantage. Something like that.
Yeah, that works.
All right. You perform ritual to Rhonda, and the next 3 charisma based saves or checks are made.
Based on their charisma modifier. That's how many.
Oh,
or 3,
yes. Okay.
Fine. But yeah.
Let's
minimum
do
3.
the next. Well, trying to figure out how to word it properly. The charisma-based saves, done you perform ritual, and your charisma-based saves or checks are made at advantage. You can use advantage as a number of times equal to your charisma modifier.
A minimum of 1 or whatever.
Minimum. Let's do minimum 3 because I like that. So minimum of 3, but you could have up to 5, essentially, of those in a day. All right, cool. So that's Beauty of Rhonda. So what are the 4 steps of the tale then? Daughter being beautiful.
Yep. Then trying to think of how to parse it, because it's first, the daughter's beautiful, she's taken, she comes for revenge, and then there's her wrath when she confronts them. Then she enacts her wrath, but then after she's killed. So
what we could absolutely do is we could have it could be Beauty of Rhonda, then the Wrath of Rhonda, Wrath of Rhonda, then one that's the level 3, the third one that you get at level 10, and then at level 14 you have something, but also the Wrath of Rhonda gets much more powerful at 14th level as she steps into her godhood.
Yep.
Okay, so the second one will be Wrath of Rhonda. What does that look like?
I'm wondering too if it could also be something that's like a location, like a locating or divination sort of thing. But I don't know. Maybe that's too much. Like like her daughter gets taken just to, I guess, find, but that's not necessarily a step. If we wanted to go into the rage, and then the next one is heightened rage, and then yeah. So I guess it would be her mortal form rage. So she was smart, and
What did she do?
this could be this like a secret knowledge one.
Okay.
So it's not entirely broken, but oh man, I don't know what to equate this to. Let's see. I'm just gonna start looking at some of these other ones that are level 6.
Yeah, so the Archfey at level 6, Misty Escape. You can vanish in a puff of mist in response to harm. When you take damage, you can use your reaction to turn invisible and teleport up to 60 feet. You remain invisible until the start of your next turn. So I feel like, in order to save her daughter, you can use your reaction to teleport yourself and make an attack against someone who's attacking an ally.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
There is make, and it can either be a spell attack or a melee attack.
Yeah.
Use your reaction to teleport up to and I'm gonna say, because it's Rhonda and she traveled so far to get her daughter back, that I want to give this like 100 foot.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, so 100 foot, teleport up to 100 feet. Use your reaction to teleport up to 100 feet to the space of an ally being attacked. You take the damage from the attack, but you are able to, and this will be both the rage and the death, where she gets, she takes the damage for her daughter and then dies.
Yep.
You take the damage from the attack, but you are able to cast a single spell that takes up to 1 action normally. All right, cool. So you can do that. How often can you use that? Let's like once a day. That is sort of a final, so
yeah, that's a normal thing.
Can, once you utilize this ability, you can't do it again until the next dawn. Okay. All right, so then the third one, I think this one should be, because she's got the ghost protectors, I think this should be something like you are able to maintain up to 2 undead servants instead of 1, because normally you can only maintain 1, and that would be a 10th level, so you'd have some more powerful undead summoning abilities.
Yeah, that works.
All right, so Wrath of Rhonda, let's see, Army of Rhonda. You can now have up to 2 summoned undead at any time.
So part of the Rhonda advanced legend, where she's the queen of evil and all that stuff, she's queen of what's called the leeks, and they are more or less ghouls, so it works perfectly.
Ooh, okay, fabulous.
Queen
I
of
love
the
it.
Leeks. So it's LEYKS, but it doesn't matter. It is exactly what it's supposed to be.
Yay! All right, I love it. And then finally, let's look at this Warlock 14. So Dark Delirium. You can choose a creature as an action within 60 feet. They must make wisdom savings. On a failed save, they're charmed or frightened for 1 minute until your concentration is broken. Until the illusion ends, the creature thinks that it is lost in the misty realm. Okay, so it's essentially like a much more powerful version of the first level thing. What we'll do is we'll do a much more powerful version of the Rhonda's Wrath. I think, how about you can forego your turn and for that turn, every attack that is made against an ally of yours within 100 feet, you can take a reaction to.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean that will be especially if you're dealing with something that's got like multi-attack or something, like Rhonda could literally just like swipe. Like we won't do the spells. So perhaps they could do, if they do have a reaction spell, they could utilize that like until they run out of spell slots. But there are very few of those. So then it would essentially be like whatever is their fabulous weapon. All right, so this is the Wrath of Rhonda and then Revenge of Rhonda. You forego your turn for this round. You may take a reaction to every attack against an ally within 100 feet.
I want to add a level of exhaustion to that.
So you gain a level of exhaustion when you're done with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like exhaustion in my games.
At the end of the round, you gain a level of exhaustion. And that way, what I'd like to do there is actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say you gain 2 levels of exhaustion.
Yeah.
2 levels of exhaustion. So you could potentially do it 3 times, but you will die if you do it. So that's the limiting factor.
Yeah. Because I think with exhaustion, it's first you get like a minus to skills, and the second is minus to attacks.
Yeah. And then so the when you try it again, your reaction attacks are not going to be as effective. And then if you try it a third time, you're just going to die.
You're
like you
can do it. Sacrificial act.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Oh yeah, I love it. At the end of the round, you gain 2 levels of exhaustion. Yeah, and that's it for that. Guess what you just did?
Holy shit.
You just made a fucking subclass. You did an adventure and you did a subclass in 3 hours.
Man, Lex makes this look so easy.
I love it. Oh my God. Okay. All right. I'm so excited about this. I think this adventure is going to be gorgeous. So I would like, first of all, to thank everybody in chat for the subs and for the bits and for making us do push-ups and for all of the delightfulness. I'm going to throw up the donate button one more time so you can see what you get if you would like to donate. You can yourself own a fabulous copy of this delightfulness. It will be on sale. We are saying it'll be about 6 weeks to give artists enough time to actually create their things, get the layout all pulled together, get all the legalese and the contracts, all that kind of stuff all put together. So hopefully like somewhere in the latter half of March, this will in fact be available for purchase as an adventure. But if you want to donate to FIG, the Foundation for Inclusivity in Gaming, you can in fact gain a copy of that right this very moment. So as soon as it's ready, we will just send you a fabulous copy of this adventure And in fact, if you want to donate $100, you can name the Paladin who is the big bad for this adventure. This adventure is going to include now a stat block for a fabulous Paladin, as yet unnamed, a new magical item that levels up depending on what you do with it, and a new Warlock patron. Yay! It's gonna be glorious.
I'm so happy.
I cannot wait until we get to design a Rhonda is my patron t-shirt.
I should have that anyway.
Rhonda!
See, if you see these masks, you can tell which one it is because Rhonda has the tongue in most cases.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
But Rong will have a jaw that claps, and it's awesome.
Oh, so cool. So cool. Oh, I love it. So yes, thank you all. And I think I'd like, hey Matt, where can everybody find you all over the intranet?
So I am Dungeon Glitch pretty much everywhere now, mainly on Twitter if you want to talk to me. Again, I create Jump Firefly with my friend Kata. We make nerdy t-shirts, help out other charities such as this one. I also make music, which you've been hearing this whole time. This music in the background. Lando was nice enough to suggest we played my lo-fi mix. So if you want to look for this, if you look up Dungeon Glitch music, this is the lo-fi album I made. So
Lando, if you are listening, do we have a link to any of that? If not, feel free to pop a link there into chat so people can go and check it out.
Sure.
And say hello.
Yep. You can find it on my Twitter as well too. But it's anywhere that you find music, you'll locate it now. I got my Socket album that came out last week. So
nice.
Yeah, it's fun because it's like I put a little joke with it. It's called All Appears Fine, and then all the tracks are named after traps because it's trap music.
I love it. Oh my God. You're such a dork. And it makes me so happy. Yay! And of course, you can find us here, Plain Nerd Allies. We are also, tomorrow, Amber is going to be doing a 12-hour long charity stream for the Foundation for Inclusivity in Gaming. And so definitely go check her out. She's got all kinds of fun prizes that you can do with all kinds of stuff, all kinds of giveaways. I think that, hey, everybody hit exclamation point raffle, because we're going to do some dice.
Yeah.
Some dice. Hey, Lando. It looks like everybody, let's give them a couple seconds. Let them get them raffles in there.
Oh, it's good.
Hey, also don't forget, if you love this overlay, contact us over at Plain Nerd Allies and get Lando to make a fabulous overlay for you.
Yeah.
Because he can do all of this delightfulness, so you look fabulous. Because I know I would look much worse if I didn't have this gorgeous like blue and gold and purple background. There's all right. Let us pick a raffle winner. Who's gonna win some dice? Who's it gonna be? Yay, Tainamaki! You get dice. Hey, Lex, send me a note in Discord and I will set you up with Michelle over at Phoenix Dice. And you will get some dice.
Congratulations,
and with
Lex.
that, I think that we should absolutely go raid someone fabulous. Let's go raid the head of our stream team, Roll Together RPG. They're only going to be live for a couple more minutes so we can catch the end of their talk show. But let's head over there and say hello. Hello. And remember, when Plain Nerd Allies raids, we tell them what we're bringing to the potluck. I am going to bring a fucked up paladin to the potluck. What are you going to bring, Matt?
A goddess of destruction, which is all about love.
Yeah! Makes me so happy. Fabulous. And we will see you next week. Mwah!